What's up, ladies and non-ladies? It is Serial Killer back again with a video for you. This time we're going to be doing the Hall of Heroes. This one was giving me a little bit of trouble today while I was at work messing around with it. I finally got a team that I am pretty happy with. Oddly enough, this is, I think, what the best team that I can make is. It happens to be a no verde, fully farmable, really obtainable team. I didn't actually aim for that. I think this is literally the best five that I can do, which is just kind of happy coincidence that it is super easy to obtain. I went through a couple different variations, changing healers, changing the way I was doing damage. Most of them I was trying to bring a real damage source, or like an actual punch you in the face damage source, like a Theo or a Sigmaris or something like that. And I wasn't having a lot of luck with it, and I'm liking this a lot better, just slowly dotting everything to death. On an awesome run, it takes about 7 minutes. A shitty run takes about 8.5, and pretty much all of that variance is on wave 3, with a decent amount of it on wave 1. These Emmas can slow things down quite a bit. They also kill the Baretta relatively often. I don't care. I have a Mikene here for that exact reason. There's really no kill threat for the team on wave 1. Baretta can die, and we just pull him back up. No one cares. Some of the waves are a little bit scarier than that, and we'll go through it kind of on a wave by wave basis. Now, this wave 2 is giving a lot of people a lot of problems. I think it works okay with my particular team, mainly because I have a pretty tanky Mikene in here. A lot of people are running into issues where the Tanya will armor break something, and then either one of the other Tanyas by itself or the three Lisas will force the whole team to murder that something. I think a lot of people are losing their Bryans on this one because the Lisas are focusing it even if there isn't an armor break on it already. My Mikene gets focused by the Tanyas, so my Mikene is generally the thing with the armor break, but even when the Lisas bring the Mikene and the Lisas over, it doesn't seem to be a problem for me. And my Mikene is not actually runed that great. In fact, a lot of these monsters, well, mainly the Baretta is runed terribly right now, because I moved a lot of stuff around on free rune removal day. I had enough mana to power up a lot of stuff to +9 to kind of optimize substats, some of them to +12, but like almost nothing to 15. So I have a lot of monsters that are actually weaker today than they were the day before free rune removal. But once I get the mana to power up their runes, they actually have much nicer runes on them. They just aren't powered up yet. Now you see the Mikene got really low there. She generally does when Veromos and Baretta fail to stun anything or turbulence anything. I've seen her die once. On the round that she died, the other four people finished off the Hall of Heroes. She died on this wave during wave 3, and the other four did wave 4, 5, and 6 by themselves. I don't think that that is necessarily, obviously a good plan. So I don't want to call this a 100% because I want to go off the assumption that it's possible that Mikene dies here on 3 and then the other 4 fail to solo it and then you lose. That chance is definitely low. And realistically, I think you just kind of have to accept that. Unless you have just a beastly, amazing team, I think you have to account or allow for at least, 95%, somewhere around there, success rate. And I think 1 out of 20 is not a big deal. You get roughly, or almost exactly, twice as many pieces per energy in B3 than B2. So if you're maintaining a 90-ish% success rate in B3, ignoring real world minutes, you are still vastly more energy efficient than doing B2 and winning every time, but just as a natural state getting 50% less pieces per energy. And this one's well inside the high 90s. I'm happy with it. I'm done tinkering. This is what I'm gonna run all weekend. Now this floor, luckily, is just a total gimme floor. There's really not a whole lot going on here. I suppose if you had a really squishy light monster or a really squishy dark monster, there could be bad things that could happen, but realistically, I don't think so. I think this is just a total pushover stage. You see Veromos got real low right there, so if I had a really squishy dark monster, would have been dead. Wouldn't matter. Mikine's going to pull it back up and keep moving on. The things to worry about are either Mikine dying or lots of your monsters dying, or namely more than one every 5 turns. Totally okay for a monster to die, once a wave, and Mikine will just pull it back up. This wave right here is even more so of a gimme. When I first loaded into this one, like on the B1, I'm like, oh crap, this is going to suck when I do B3, because these dark archers in one of the last Hall of Heroes, either in the Death Knight one or in the Undyne one, they were on wave 3 with the boss, I think, and they hit really hard. I did not like them. They were kicking the shit out of my Bella. And in this one, they don't appear to do anything. Comptuous forgot to give them attack power for whatever reason, which is good for us because now we don't have to worry about them killing us. This wave is a total stall wave. They've got that endure, they've got that invincibility, so it does take a little while to kill them, but they're not going to kill anything on this wave. You won't see anything die here. If it is, it's going to be a super fluke, and Mikene will have no problem picking it up, which is kind of nice because if you maybe had a really shitty wave 3 and kind of barely recovered during wave 4, or if you had a bad wave 4, you get this wave 5 to fully recuperate before you go back into the boss, which is nice because wave 6 is drastically harder than wave 4 or 5. I do not think it is hard as 3. I think wave 3 is pretty substantially harder than the rest of the waves. I hear a lot of people complaining that they think wave 2 is the worst. I think those people are probably Brian owners. I don't have Brian. It changes the way the Lisa's focus stuff. I don't have a wind monster in here at all, so the Lisa's just kind of, well, they'll follow the armor break or just kind of go wherever. And even if my Mikene has an armor break, the Lisa's won't always hit it because it's fire into water. So it actually helps out quite a bit there having a Mikene instead of a Brian. I would still much rather have a Brian in here. I don't have a Brian. And one down. Sweet. So now we got these last two. On this stage, you do have some cool buffs being thrown out from the light and dark ones, but really, in my mind, that's not so much your kill threat. The light and dark ones spend time putting the buffs up, but it's the wind one. This wind Neostone Agent actually hits pretty hard. Right there she didn't. It must be only one of her buttons. Every once in a while you'll see her hit like the Mikene, or maybe the Bella must get an armor break on him, or Avenged or something. I could have swore she hits the Bella pretty hard, but maybe it's the black one that hits the Bella. But I definitely see Bella get relatively low on this floor, but it's usually doesn't even die, and again, I'm perfectly okay with one thing dying once every 5 turns, and we'll just pop it back up. As long as Mikene doesn't die. We're going to go over the runes at the end of this. I'll click through them pretty quick. You can go ahead and pause them on the individual runes for the people you're interested. I'm probably going to write it out for you as well. You'll see my Baretta is terrible. My Bella and my Veromos have decent runes, but they're not fully skilled up yet. The Colleen's not fully skilled up yet, and the Mikene runes are pretty junk. Most of that having to do with the free rune removal. But the nice thing for you guys is that anyone that's legitimately trying to do B3 has better stats on these 5 monsters than I do. I went a little bit overboard with plus 9ing and plus 12ing, like a shitload of runes in my inventory. You'll see I have 440 runes. Most of them are plus 9 at least. I went real crazy with plus 9ing everything, finding out all my stats, and I spent a lot of time in a rune optimizer this last free rune removal. I'm hoping it's going to pay off. Unfortunately, I did not leave myself enough mana to power up these runes that I put on all the way up to 12 or 15. So I'm kind of in this weird crippled state where, a week ago I was actually stronger than I am right now, but hopefully in, 3 weeks I'm going to be a lot stronger than I was a week ago. Alright guys, if you have any questions, go ahead and leave them in the comments. I will check in on this often, and I will let you know anything that I can. Thank you very much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Have a good night. Bye guys.